Hey guys, I'm Jamie Dawson, and over Module 8, we had to come up with a proposal about technology and do a presentation on how we could implement technology in the classroom, and we had to pick out a grade level. Um, so the grade levels were K through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and 10 through 12. I chose to do 4 through 6 just because that's the grades that I want to kind of go into. Um, and it covers approximately 200 students. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through kind of like what my handout would be. And then I'll actually post this on there also. So during this presentation, you will be informed the following: the possible problems that this could cause, the solutions, the cost of what these will cost, the implementations of it, and the impacts that what I want to add to our school district will achieve. So some of the problems. The school spends thousands of dollars each year on textbooks. Some are destroyed by the end of the first year. How would it feel to know that you are spending the same amount of money, but you are getting much more for your money? So kind of what I was thinking there was you got, say, 20 kids per classroom, and you're spending, anywhere from $100 some per textbook. That gets pretty expensive, and it's not guaranteed that those books will last till the end of the year anyway, because kids are kids, and they're not going to be per se gentle. So the students they can draw, rip, and they'll drop their books on a daily basis, and sometimes it's beyond repair. So we got to find something that can be possibly under warranty, that can be repaired. Some of this can be prevented. So those are some of the problems that I am seeing currently. So what I had for a solution: the Apple iPads. They can be bought and used per class. And they could be used for multiple things in the classroom. They could take their accelerated reading test. They can do research, just for, say, if you were wanting to learn about Abraham Lincoln. Well, as a whole class, you could do a research project over Abraham Lincoln and use, the iPads, and you can get more updated information to where is maybe you have a book from history 4 years ago or 5 years ago, or even, current stuff, more so in the news. I suppose history is going to stay as history, but let's just say current stuff in the news. You'll find more current stuff. And they can also have educational applications on them. So what we do like ABC with the kids at our school. We do a lot of the educational stuff in the classroom as a developmental time. iPads could lessen the cost of the district because books have to be assigned to each student, whereas iPads could be assigned for a group of students. So as I said earlier, you have a classroom of 20 students. Well, you wouldn't necessarily need to buy 20 iPads for each individual students, because you could put people in partners and figure that out as the iPads. And then the iPads can also help students become more responsible with equipment. If students are held responsible for their actions like they should be, they will have to be more careful with these iPads because they cost a little bit more money than those books, but in the long run, they are warranted. So that will be something that is very beneficial to the district because they can be repaired as long as they are under warranty. And I know what y'all are probably thinking, hey, is this cost efficient? You hear Apple and then you hear your iPad. You're thinking, that is a lot of money. But if you get the newer generation, like what they have out, you wouldn't have to get like the iPad Pro or the iPad Max or any of the big fancy $2,000 iPads. What I was thinking was a 9.7 inch screen. So it's not huge, but it's just big enough. With 128 gigabytes of storage, that'll do like your accelerated reading app, your ABC. It'll do a bunch of different apps, and it will hold different things because you won't have pictures that you have to worry about taking. You won't have to worry about music on there. So you're going to have a lot of storage that is open. And they're going to cost around $430 per iPad. If you want to add a case to it, add $30, you're looking at $460 per iPad. But like I said, you wouldn't have to get one per 20 students. You would just have to get some for a certain group, and they will just have to rotate and take turns based in what we call small groups, whole groups, during their free time. So they would have to be assigned certain times to use it. And then, like I said, certain applications can cost money, but when connected to Wi-Fi, they can use the internet for any kind of research they want. That will not be an issue. If you have 20 students per room, they each had a textbook, roughly 90 to anywhere from 90 to $125 each. At 20 students, just say for $100 a textbook, just say that's $2,000. With no warranty or guarantee, they would last for the next year. So then that's a book that you're constantly going to have to replace because you are not sure that it will be able to be fixed or replaced. Sometimes tape won't do it. Sometimes glue won't hold it. So that's just something to keep in mind. iPads at $460, and just say for 10 students, you would have 20 students. But like I said, you put them in partners, you put them in pairs, so that's 2 students per pair. You would have 10 students. Would cost roughly $460 or $4,600 for the iPads per classroom. Because students will look or will work in pairs as they share the iPads, like I said. So you're going to save a little bit of money there. iPads come with a warranty and they can be returned if faulty or fixed. As for textbooks, they will have to be repurchased again, like I had said earlier. So that's going to be something that y'all need to keep in mind. The iPads are warranted. They have a certain amount of warranty. They have updates available. And they're going to be a little bit hardier than the textbooks with the case on them, because with the case on them, they're going to protect the outer shell, the screen, and all that. So it's definitely, I think, worth the difference in cost. Because in the long run, I think it will save money. I think the iPads will outlast the textbooks. And the implementations. So if the district decided that the iPads cost too much, another solution would be buying a certain amount per grade level. If they didn't want to buy 10 per classroom, per se, that'd be a lot of classrooms, because personally, where I work now, I'm just going to toss that out there. We have 8 third grade classrooms, 7 fourth grade classrooms, and 7 fifth grade classrooms, and that does not include the SPED department. So we've got a lot of classrooms. So if they didn't want to spend 10 iPads per classroom, I can understand that, because that will be costly if you do not have the funds for your district. Anyway, so they buy a certain amount per grade level, in allowing iPads to be used a certain amount of time. Just say the fourth grade have iPads, they would have a blue dot next to where you would plug them into the cart to get charged. They would have a blue dot. Fifth grade would have an orange dot, and say sixth grade would have a purple dot next to theirs. And students will be able to use iPads for all their needs, certain times in a certain amount per grade level, will help keep the cost down, the stress levels down on the homeroom teachers. So like I said, you can have, instead of 10 per classroom, you can say you want 25 per grade level, and that's 75 iPads total. So instead of buying, like I said, 20 textbooks per class per se, and you times that, 20 times 8 for the 8 third grade classrooms we have, 20 times 7 for the 7 fourth grade classrooms we have, and 20 times 20 times 7 for the 5th grade classrooms that we have at our district. So you got to kind of keep that in mind, by the time you pay that much in textbooks per student, per class, per grade level, you're going to be spending a lot of money when you can just say 25 iPads per grade level. And then, like I said, you would just do the color coding system, and you would have to figure out times of rotations of when those could be used for the teachers. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday could be, or even Monday and Tuesday could be used for 4 of the classrooms, and then Wednesday, Thursday can be used for the other 4 classrooms, and Friday would just kind of be, hey, are you using these? No, I'm not. Hey, can I use them? Yeah, that's great. So that's kind of something to keep in mind that you could also do. So the impacts of what these would have. So the advantages of iPads are definitely unlimited. They come warranted. They are current with whatever the students need. They can get Chromebooks. They can get Google, and they can get so many other apps. And they will provide teachers ease of mind knowing that the students could not share papers and cheat on their assignments. Just something as simple as, say, a research project or a group project or a partner project. You have to have everybody in there doing something, instead of one person all writing down on a piece of paper and handing it out to the rest of the group. You have to participate, because the iPads would be limited. And as far as like testing, if you wanted to do some sort of testing on it, but you didn't want to have a paper form with a certain student, you can stick them on the iPad and have them take that test, so you knew they couldn't cheat off that. And they will be assigned a number Students will be assigned a number per iPad, and they will be responsible for that iPad, and they will be, for any physical damages that they may inflict on the iPad, cases will be provided, but if they damage beyond the case can withstand, they will have to pay part of the iPad. They will need to be held responsible for it because those are not cheap, and it's something that most districts cannot afford. So they will need to start being held responsible for their actions, and they need to start preparing for life. That not money doesn't grow on trees, and they need to figure it out. And the students will have certain times that they're available, and they can be used during their free time in class to work. And this will be good for the district's investment because they will not lose money on them. If, like I said before, if it gets damaged, students will have to pay the portion of the iPad or warranty, or they will have to fix it. Books are just going to have to be thrown away after a certain amount of time. Or I mean, you could have the students pay for the book if they still make that current model of the book. Or they would just have to go out without. So those are kind of my thoughts, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation. And towards the end here, I attached a picture of the iPad that I had in mind. Like I said, it's a 9.7 inch. It's the current model. It's nothing fancy. It's not the Pro. It's not the it's not the best one that there is, but it's doable, and it is definitely, I think, worth the money. So I think that's something y'all could really benefit from. They're always saying technology is growing, and I know a lot of people don't like to go with how we are developing as a world. And so, with that being said, technology is going to grow, and there's no way we're going to get around that. So I think we should probably just jump ahead of what's going to happen in the future, and everybody's going to want to get in on it. So I think if we can get in on it now, I think it'd be good. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.